Concerning the heart attack that the Rebbe had, Shmini Atzeres, middle of Akofes, Tovshin Lamed Ches, 40 years ago. Everyone is talking about it now because it's 40 years and everyone is describing it, writing and having WhatsApps about it. So I'm not going to go into the details because it's all known and it's being spoken about very much now. I just want to add a few small things. Number one, my place those years by Hakofes was right by the Rebbe's Bime. The Rebbe's Stender was on the Mizrach wall, and right at the end of the Bime, the opposite side, which is the Ma'ariv side of the Bime, I stood there by Hakofes, right next to Rabbi Leibel. So I remember we were standing there together, waiting for the Rebbe to come into Hakofes that night. Reb Shmuel Chayfer walks over to us both, and he says, I want you to know, being that it seemed like he meant to say, since he's a nephew of Rashag, but mainly he knows what's going on in the inside. So he says, I want you to know that tonight we have to be very, very careful. Chas v'sholom, no one should touch the Rebbe, shouldn't move because it's so crowded. Because tonight it's sakonas nefoshes. These are the words that he used. This is before Hakofes. And we looked at him and he said, well, what are you talking about? He said, I'm telling you, tonight is sakonas nefoshes. That's one thing I want to mention. Another thing, at the Hakofes that the Rebbe was turned around and the Hakofes where it seems like that's when he had the heart attack. So I was standing there, mamish, a few feet away from the Rebbe, and the Rebbe was clapping very slowly. And then I saw the Rebbe's face get white, mamish, pale, like a white sheet. And the Rebbe turned around to the Stender, and Rabbi Groner was standing facing the crowd still. And I remember I pulled Rabbi Groner by his capote, on the bottom of his capote, and he looked down at me as if, what do you want? And I said to him these words, Git dem Rebbe dem Benkel, because it looked like you see on the face of the Rebbe that. And I remember when I said that, I don't know if the Rebbe heard it or not, but the Rebbe wasn't so far, but pum then the Rebbe turned around and motioned to Rabbi Groner that he should give him the chair. I don't remember him saying anything like a whole sentence or anything. I don't know if he said Benkel or he just showed with his hands to the chair, but that's all I remember. Maybe he said something which I don't remember, but he wanted the chair. But it was after I pulled Rabbi Groner by his capote saying, Gidem Rebbe and Benkel. Now, I don't know if that's the reason the Rebbe turned around or not, but Lepel, right after that, the Rebbe turned around and asked for the chair. And another thing, when this whole thing started, the whole commotion, someone passed all the way from the sink, the kvort with water. And the Rebbe didn't want to take it. So they say that the Rebbe said he doesn't want to take it. So some say because he said this before Kiddush. Some say he said because it's not in the Sukkah or whatever. The Pel Mamish, I was standing there when they gave the Rebbe the kvort. He didn't say anything. He just said no. He didn't want to take it. Now, I'm sure that these reasons are all true. But there's probably another reason also, because the kvort was not clean, and it was not healthy to take a drink from that kvort. It was not clean. It was used by probably 5,000 people, or who knows, and it wasn't clean, so the Rebbe didn't take it. And I don't know if that's the reason either. But Lepel Mamish, the Rebbe just didn't want to take it, but he didn't say anything. And that's when people started going out, etc., etc.